Hello everyone and welcome to the next session on mobile repairing. We've been trying to look at different types of mobile phones and how we operate different types of mobile phones. In this video, we're going to be talking about the touchscreen mobile phone. So we will try and understand the different parts of a touchscreen mobile phone, and we will also try and see how we can operate a touchscreen mobile phone. Now in front of you is a simple touchscreen phone that you can see on the screen. Let's try and understand some of the external parts in this touchscreen mobile phone before we go into the internal components. As you can see in the front, this is the display panel. This display panel has a touch panel on top, which is what enables the touch to function, and underneath that there is a display panel there. On top of the mobile phone is, you see this line here, this is the speaker slot or the earpiece. This is how we will be able to hear the other person's voice in terms of whoever is calling us. Alongside you will see two dots here. These two dots are for proximity sensors. Proximity sensors are the sensors which help the mobile phone understand that you are speaking on the mobile phone and will switch off the display. So when you are speaking to somebody and you place the ear here, the proximity sensor detects that you are actually speaking on the device and therefore switches off the display so that any inappropriate touch of the display is disabled at that time. Right next to that is a small camera. This is the front camera in this mobile phone. I think it is a 2 megapixel camera through which you can take selfies of yourself, group selfies and so on. Underneath is the main touch button. As you can see, this is a button which you can press and it's going inside. So this is the main button that we will use, and we will show how this button is used during the demonstration of the operations of the mobile phone. Let's take it around. Now there are two other touch points here which you may not be able to see now, but we will try and understand those 2 points once we switch on the mobile phone. Now let me turn the phone around and see what is at the back side. In the back side you will be able to see the back panel, and in the back panel there's a small slot here. This is where the speaker is located inside of the mobile phone, and you can play songs. When you play songs, the audio comes out through these 2 points here. Right next to that is the main camera. The main camera is an 8 megapixel main camera here, and underneath the camera there is a small LED flash. So this LED flash can be used as a flash for the camera as well as a torch when you need to light it up. So this is a simple LED torch that's placed here, and this is exactly what you see on the back panel. Let's try and look at the sides to see what we have on these sides. On one side of it, if you can notice clearly, there is a hard button which can be pressed on top and bottom. This can essentially be, this is a volume increase or decrease button. So when you press on top, it increases the volume, and button decreases the volume when you're playing songs or watching movies or any of that stuff. Let's turn it around slightly. Underneath you will see the microphone point, and we have seen that in our earlier videos as well. And right next to that is the charging point. A charging point, this is a micro USB charging point, and you can connect it to a charger and use this point to charge the mobile phone. Let's turn it to the other side and see what we have. Here you have 2 specific ports here. This is a button. This is the main power button. So you can switch on and off the phone using this main power button. Right next to that is something called as, if you look at it closely, this is a slot for micro SD card. In other words, memory card. So there's a small closing flap here. You can put your finger in and you will be able to open the flap. And if you open the flap, you can clearly see that there is a micro SD card placed inside. Now in order to take it out, it has a push-pull mechanism. So all you need to do is just press it lightly with your fingernails, and you can hear a slight click, and you will be able to take the SD card out. So this is a 4 GB micro SD card, and micro SD card is an external memory device which you can use to store songs. So to place it back inside, you place it in its position and press it until you hear a click sound, and then it goes and stays back inside. These memory cards are very sensitive, so whenever you are placing memory card or removing them, please ensure that the mobile phone is switched off, and then you are able to remove the micro SD card. On the top of the phone is where you have the audio point. This is through which you can listen to songs by plugging in your headphone, or you can connect a speaker to this point and you will be able to listen to songs through this audio port. So we have seen the sides of the mobile phone now. Let me also try and show you what is inside the mobile phone on the back side. So there's a small cut which is given here. If you place your fingernails here, you will be able to open the back cover of this mobile phone. So I'm going to just give a little bit of pressure, and as you can see, the cover can be easily slid open with your fingers. And now the cover is open. Now you can very clearly see that the back side, there are slots given here. So this is the speaker slot, as I said, and the speaker is right here. So you will be able to hear songs. The audio comes out of this particular position. Right next to that is the camera and the LED flash. Underneath is the battery. And if you need to remove the battery, you place your fingers here and you will be able to remove the battery. You can see the back panel here. The battery connector is placed here, and you can see the back side of the PCB here. Let me place it back here. The other important component that you will see here is the SIM card slot. So as you can see, this is a dual SIM phone. So you can see very closely there are two SIM cards that you can place here. We've placed one on top. You can actually place one more SIM card underneath at the bottom. And this is the main component where you can place two SIM cards and you can use it as a dual SIM phone. So let's place the cover, and then there are screws here. So in case if you need to work on the PCB, you can unlock these screws, unscrew them, and you will be able to work on the inside portion. Let me place the cover back on the back side. To place it, just place it on top and press it on the sides and it will go lock into its position. Now let me switch it on. So to switch it on, we click on the power button on the side, press it a little longer until you see a display on the screen, and you can see the display here. So the phone normally will take some time to switch on depending on the model, depending on the device. As you can see, now the phone is being switched on, and you will see the lock screen. This screen is called as the lock screen. You will see a small lock there. So at the lock screen, you can either unlock the phone and then go ahead and operate the phone, or you can straight away go to the phone option where you can go ahead and give a call. Let's first unlock the phone and try and see what's inside the phone. This is the home screen of the mobile phone. You can see the clock there. There's a picture at the background, which is called the wallpaper. And underneath, you will see 4 icons, which essentially represent the 4 apps that we normally use on the mobile phone. Now, each of these are called applications. The short form of it is called apps. The first one you see here is the phone option, which means you can click on that and you will be able to go and make phone calls to people. The next one is the contact or the address book, which is where you will be able to store the phone numbers of your contacts and you can retrieve them whenever you need. The next one is the message button. You can send SMSs or short messages to your contacts through the SMS option. And then you will see a small earth symbol there, and that's called the internet browser or the browser option. Through the browser option, you will be able to browse or access sites on the internet or the World Wide Web. Now there are 3 buttons at the bottom, as you can see. The one in the center, you can hard press this. This is the home button, which means whatever app you're on, whatever screen you're on, as soon as you press this, you will be returning to this home screen. On the left hand side is an options button. So when you click on the options button, you will be able to see the options specific to what is on the screen. It could be specific to the app. In this case, we are able to see 3 small options here. There's something called wallpapers, which will help you change the wallpaper. There's something called widgets, through which you can add very small apps to be displayed on your home screen. For example, the clock that you see here is a widget. Similarly, you can have a widget for calendar, widget for news items, and so on and so forth. The third option is themes, through which you can actually change the color theme, the display theme, the fonts and everything, which is displayed on the mobile phone. In order to go back, we press the back button. So the third button is the back button. So from wherever you are, if you want to go back to the previous screen, irrespective of whatever app you are in, you can press this and you will be able to go back to the previous screen. Now, going forward, let's try and look at what is this center button. So it's a small circle with 6 dots there. That's called the app drawer button. App drawer button helps you open up the apps which are stored in this mobile phone. Now, what is an app? We spoke about it earlier. An app is a very small software. It's also called an application, a mobile application. It's a very small piece of software which helps you achieve a particular task. Now, there are several apps that you can download and store on the mobile phone. In order to download the app, you may need to go to something like a Play Store, which is for an Android device. So you press on the Play Store. If you are on the internet, you will be able to connect to the Google Play Store and you can download the apps from the Google Play Store. There are some apps which come inbuilt within your mobile phone, and we will try and see some of these apps. Let me introduce you to the first one. It's called the browser. Browser is used to primarily access internet on your mobile phone. So if you have internet connection either through a Wi-Fi or through a data card or a data SIM, you will be able to access internet through that. Since we don't have an internet connection here, you will not be able to see the page. In order to go back, you can pull it down and you can pull down on the screen. You'll be able to see the link here, and you can actually type in the website address here and try and access the website address through this particular link. If you have internet, you will be able to access this particular page. Since we don't have internet, we'll go back to the previous screen. The second app is calculator. These are very small apps. Like for example, calculator is used to calculate, add, subtract, do all of those calculations here. The next app is a calendar app through which you can see the calendar of a month, a week. So you can choose what you want to see here. You can see the day's calendar, the week's calendar, month's calendar. If you have a schedule of events, you can see the agenda and access the agenda through this. Let's go back now to the app screen. Apart from that, the next important app is the camera app. The camera app is essentially used to capture photo and video on your mobile phone. Now, this camera app can be opened up just as I showed, and you can choose between photo, video, and panorama. These are 3 options which are available on this mobile phone. Panorama is when you can take a photograph at 360 degrees, which means on all your sides. Now, let's place it on the photograph option. In the photograph option, if you press this, you will be able to see some options in terms of increasing the lighting or switching on the flash or switching off the flash. You can also shift between the front camera and the back camera using this option. For example, if I have to turn to the front camera, I select this and now the front camera view can be seen here. Let's go back to the back camera and we'll try and take a picture here. So in order to take a picture or shoot a picture or shoot a video, you just have to press the center button here. So when you press the center button, it will focus and it will capture the image on the mobile phone. So this is how you normally take photographs or videos on a mobile phone. Going forward, let's look at a few more quick apps. The clock option is where you will be able to access the time, date. There are 4 options on top. As you can see, the first one is the alarm. So you can use this to set an alarm. You can add an alarm by clicking on the press button and selecting the time and then turn it on and off, or you can delete the alarm depending on when you want to keep it. This is the time setting option. You can also see world time in different parts of the world. You can have a stopwatch here. If you're timing something, you can use the stopwatch, or you can even use the timer to record timelines here. So that's your clock app. Now, in order to access the clock app, you can also access it from the widget that you saw on the home screen. You click on that, it will take you back to the clock application as well. Now, going back, let's go back into the app drawer and see a few other important apps. The email app helps you access emails. If you have an email address, you can configure the email app with your respective email address and access it through the email application. Let's go back. The next app that's important is called the File Manager. File Manager will let you access the files which are saved on your mobile phone. The File Manager is an important tool if you need to access any data that you have saved on your micro SD card. We saw the micro SD card earlier. You can save videos, songs and all that in the micro SD card, and it will help you access those through the File Manager. Gallery helps you access the photographs and videos that you have shot on your mobile phone. So when you open Gallery, you'll be able to see the albums here. You can select which album you want to see. And when you click on that, you'll be able to see the photographs that were taken or the videos that you shot using the camera of the mobile phone. And going back, let's go back to the apps menu. Here you can see the next important app is messaging. Messaging is something that you can access from the home screen also. So let's click on messaging. You'll be able to see the messages here. The list of messages appear here. If you want to send a message to somebody, you can do the plus option here, which will open up the email address and for example, when I say yes, and it will show up the SkillTrain helpline, and I can send a message to them. When I click on the send button, it will be able to, the mobile will send it across. I can also have a photograph attached to the message and sent across to them. Since we don't want to send a message now, we can go back now. You can also see incoming messages here. So any message that's not sent will be saved as a draft. This is an incoming message, and we can respond to those incoming messages using the messaging application. Next app that you need to understand is the contacts app. So using this, you can access the list of contacts that are saved on your mobile phone. The list of contacts, you can also create a new contact if you want to save somebody's mobile phone or contact number. You can use the People app to do that. So once you open it, you will be able to see a list of people whose numbers are there. For now, there are no numbers stored here, so you cannot see it here. But you can add people here. You can delete contacts if you have any contacts from SIM card, from the micro SD card. You can import them through this, or you can sync with any of your online accounts such as Gmail or any of that. You can also create groups here. So using the groups, you will be able to access multiple people at the same time. Now going back, the next option is the phone option. So when you click on the phone, you will be able to access the phone menu. This is the same thing that we saw in the home page as well. You can access this. And if you want to call somebody, either you can dial the number here, so you can key in the number here and dial the person, or you can go ahead and press on the number, and you will be able to call that particular person on the other end of the line. In case you want to disconnect, you disconnect the phone and you can disconnect. You can also see past history using this particular time option here on the left, or the list of phone numbers, or the list of calls that you have received, or the missed calls that you have received. On the right hand side is how you add contacts. So whenever you want to add contact, you go ahead and click on new contact, and you will be able to add a new contact here. And whenever you get a call, you will have an intimation like this that will show up on your mobile phone. In this case, we just received a missed call. Now this missed call option, or these things can be seen on the notification slider on top. This is called the notification slider. So when you pull it down, you will be able to see the list of calls. For example, we've got 2 missed calls from SkillTrain helpline. So seeing this, you can either send them a message, or you can call them back using the callback option. Or you want to slide it off, you can just slide it off to dismiss this notification, and your notification is dismissed. So let's go back to the app screen. A couple of other important options that you need to understand. The next one is settings menu. So when I click on settings, this is where you can adjust the settings of the mobile phone. Everything right from the Wi-Fi. For example, Wi-Fi, if you have a Wi-Fi connection, you can switch it on and off using this. You can turn on the Bluetooth connection using the Bluetooth on and off button. You can choose mobile networks using the mobile networks option. You can choose which mobile to be used for what, for calls, which one for data. All of that can be determined using the mobile networks option. A lot of personalization can also be done, including changing lock screen, themes, devices, particularly device related options such as changing the ringtone, sound settings, display settings, button settings, storage settings. All these can be changed using the settings option here, and you can play around with them for you to get a better understanding of how the touchscreen works. Another easier way to access the settings option is through the notification slider. So what you can do is you can go to the notification slider, slide it down, and you will see the small matrix here. You click on that. You can access the slider shortcuts. So these are all quick shortcut tiles which are placed here. You can use these shortcut tiles to access the same settings without going to the settings menu. For example, the first slider is for the network, second is for Bluetooth on or off, third takes you to the settings menu, fourth helps you with sound adjustment. So there are multiple sound adjustments in a mobile phone. You can either have it in a normal mode where you can hear all the ringtones, or you can place it in a louder tone. Say, let's say you're in the market area and you can't hear, so you can place it in a louder tone. You can completely mute the sound. If, for example, if you're in a meeting, you can completely mute the sound, or you can put it on a vibrate mode. So all of these can be quickly done using the shortcut menu here. You can turn the location on and off. Rotation can also be locked here. Typically, most of the touch phones have rotation enabled, which means when you turn the device in the other way around, the display will also turn to the other way around. This is especially useful when you're watching videos on your mobile phone. You can lock that to a particular position. Like for example, if you lock it in this portrait position, it will stay in this position. Even if you turn the phone, nothing will happen to it. I can unlock it by doing the auto rotate option. Apart from that, the brightness can also be controlled using this. So once you click on brightness, you will be able to adjust the brightness using the settings menu here. Going back to the notification slider, there's something called an airplane mode, which will help you switch off all the network communication, including Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and all the other connections that exist on the mobile phone. This is very important, especially needed when you're traveling on an aeroplane, and all these connections need to be switched off. We also have the alarm option here at the bottom, the clock option, which can also be turned on. So that's as far as the notification slider is concerned. A few other tools such as torch or voice recorder are also available in many mobile phones. You can try and play around with them. And in order to play sounds, you can use music player. Many a times there are music players which are in the mobile phone. So you can open the music player and play files. Files that you have saved on micro SD card can also be accessed through the music player, or you can open them using file manager, in which case the music player application will automatically open up. In order to go back to the home screen, we press the center button and you will be able to go back to the home screen here. Now, many a times there are a lot of apps, and if you have a lot of applications that you are open, it can slow down your mobile. Like for example, we just kept opening a lot of apps, and that can slow down the mobile phone. In order to remove all these apps from the memory, we can long press the center home button, in which case you will be able to see all the list of apps that we have opened. Now you can slide them and close them using this option. Just as you can see, I am sliding them off the screen and I am closing those applications. Or I can use the button on top to clear off all the open applications, in which case all the open applications are cleared off from memory, and your phone can be used as a normal one. Going back to home screen, back to the main screen here. So this is typically how a touchscreen mobile works. And in order to reduce the volume, you can use the volume buttons on the side. Like for example, when I press it, as you can see, the volume button is used to increase or decrease the volume, and I can use the settings to adjust the volume through the side button as well. This is useful when you are getting a call and you want to reduce the volume of the phone. You can try and use these side buttons to reduce or increase the volumes. And in order to switch it off, we long press the power button, which is on the right hand side, and when I do that, it gives me the power off option. I can reboot it, I can take a screenshot, or I can even put it on the aeroplane mode. I can also select between silent mode or vibrate mode using this particular option. So I don't need to go to the settings menu and search for all these settings. I can do this a shorter way using the power button here. So by now, I'm sure all of you would have understood how the mobile phone, a touchscreen mobile phone works, and what are some of the common parts and what each of those components are, and some of the applications that are commonly used in this mobile phone. I hope you found this useful. Let's continue learning and let's try and work on how to repair a mobile phone. Thank you very much.